So last night I did a little bit more route planning. Went to the state website, downloaded some maps that overlays of, what's public, what's private land. And I believed that I had a route to take the backside through a county road that goes up to a road that's underneath power lines. And I got just a little ways up here before I reached this fenced in powered gate with surveillance cameras, keyed entry to get on the road that goes past this power substation up to the power line road that's on BLM land. It's on public land. The point itself is not on private land, so I believed I could get to there if I went through the public land. However, there's a sign that says there has to be an application for land use to even get here. So this is actually really interesting, but it makes me want to find it even more because it's so hard to reach just by virtue of it being locked out by private land, and it should really be just public land that you can reach. But that's what I'm finding with Colorado versus some of the other YouTubers I've seen doing Randonautica in the cities. Yes, they come across private land sometimes, but you plug in a point and you can usually get there within a few minutes, it seems like. But in Colorado, there has to be a lot more planning to reach some of these points, even if they're on public land. If there's no access to the public land, it's hard to get to it. So I may have to hike there. And even that, I'm looking at this fence down here it's kind of even blocking that. So I'm going to have to see if I can go around this fence. I don't see a no trespassing sign on this particular fence. But it's either that or I make some application to the county to get access to this road, which I'm pretty determined to find this if I can. So I may do that. And I love it because it's given me, something fun to do. It's a purpose. It's a challenge, and I really enjoy it. And that kind of goes back to, I want to talk about Gen X, military veterans. We all know there have been, some issues with suicides of military veterans, and nobody likes that. It's terrible. But I go back to, kind of our generation. Almost feels like it's the lost generation sometimes. Growing up, I remember our teachers would ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it seemed like most of us didn't have a clue what we wanted to do. We didn't have a purpose in life. We didn't have anything sort of guiding us. Now, some of us did. I know a guy that wanted to be a dentist from the time he was, 5 years old. And by gosh, he did everything he could to become a dentist, and then he did. And that's his mission in life. But I think for most of us, we didn't really have that idea about what we wanted growing up. And the military kind of, at least for me, it gave me that. I was in college, and I was thinking about, do I want to sit in a cubicle and work for some company and the daily grind? It just didn't appeal to me. And I graduated. This was back, around 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, that time frame. So to me, the military seemed like a good option. And after I chose that, and I was doing ROTC at that time and signed up, and right before I graduated, 9/11 happened. So that I was like, yeah, I've got to do this for my country. I've got to do it. It's the right thing to do. And it was exciting. When you're young, you're not invincible, but there is a sense of like, you feel like you can do anything. So I love that. And all right, I just had to take a break, and I had a notice on my phone I had to check. So but anyway, getting back to my speech about Gen X, being a Gen X veteran. So the military gave us that purpose in life, and when you're in the military, you always have a purpose. You're always working for a higher goal, and that's, life and death. You're trying to keep people alive. You want to be the best leader you can be. You want to be the best soldier you can be. It's the be all you can be. And I think that's why our generation really didn't like it when the Army switched from be all you can be to Army of One. It was a little bit too on the nose about our generation being, just out for themselves, and trying to do everything themselves. And it may be actually accurate about our generation, but we didn't like it because that wasn't why we joined the Army. We didn't join the Army to be an Army of One. We joined to be all that we could be and to serve a higher purpose and be the best we could be. So, going back to that, when I got out of the Army, it was like all that just kind of dissipated. And you have to find a purpose in your life when you get out, because all of those things that were your purpose in the military, improving your PT score, improving your education, going to Army schooling, improving different scores on tests and everything that you do in the Army, to have mission success. It was, that's your purpose. You're trying to have mission success. You're trying to keep everybody alive. You're trying to build each other up, and you're trying to improve your unit and your station and everything. So, but when you get out, it's like, if you don't find a purpose, or if you expect that purpose to be granted to you from someone, it's not there. You're just out kind of flapping in the breeze. And civilians, civilian people are different from in the military in that way too, because they almost seem like they don't have any purpose. They're just kind of living day to day and living paycheck to paycheck. And it's, maybe it's for their family if they have a family. If they're single, then it's like, what are they doing it for? So you have to create your purpose. And I think that's kind of the problem that people have when they got out. And I don't want to talk about military suicides and veteran suicides and all that, but that is a big issue, So find your purpose. If you get out, you got to find your purpose. You got to create your own purpose. And I did that, and it's not easy to do. You have to come up with something and then strive for that goal in your life, and take your military training. And you're trained to do that, so you got to do it. If you don't, you could get yourself into a troubling situation where you don't know what you're here for, and that's a pretty scary thing. But getting back to the purpose, we are trying to reach this point out here that is, it's out that way. Okay, there are power lines, there's fences. I'm blocked in here, and I'm not going to say I cannot. So there's an American flag up here. I'm looking at the top of this hill, and there's an American flag flapping in the breeze. I'll include a picture of this, but it's an inspiration. So it's inspiring me to continue with this mission, to reach this point, and it's great. I love it. I don't know if I will achieve that today, but I will do what I can, and I'll take every step of the way to get there. And once we get there, we will have achieved getting to a Randonautica point in Colorado, in the mountains, that is proving to be significantly more complex than just plugging at a point in a city like I see a lot of other YouTubers doing. So stick around and see what we have next. So here's the flag I want to show you guys. You might be able to see it. It's up on this hill. There's nobody out here. There are not any houses. This is public land, but look at this. It's an American flag up there.